Alright, so, what's the most important thing when people try to watch, people who are trying to watch, um, they're trying to watch, information about hard subjects? Well, the thing is, I started studying things related to, um, psychological endeavors, not necessarily starting out with psychology. I started out with um, hypnosis because I couldn't understand. I understood that when I was 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, that hypnosis was a way for you to be able to clear your mind because you hypnotize yourself. And from the same time frame, I was studying astrology, not the way that regular people study it, but the way that people that do like horoscope study it, like from that side of the table. Like I would study how to read palms was one of the first things I studied, and then with books, and I studied tarot cards to read how to read future things in the constellations and your birthday, how it has an effect, your moon sign and this and that, and all that stuff like that. And so, one of the biggest questions are you able to get along with a person who is narcissistic? Is narcissism a real thing? It's the basis of most questions, because the reason that's a question is because it's like 80% of the population is narcissistic, 10%, 13% of the, I don't know what percentages, like hippie style people or into organic vegetarian. That's probably 20%. I mean, there's really not as many as you think, because a lot of people just don't care. They don't give a shit. They eat whatever they want. I've never seen that many people of the population who are being strict. You hear about people who become vegetarians, but how many percentage of the population started out young as vegetarian and stayed one as a vegan? I don't think that number is that high. People who you might see in health food stores, a lot of people like that. A lot of people in health food stores buy meat. They sell meat in health food stores. So don't let that trick you. I don't want to say fool you, because I don't think anyone's trying to fool you, but it might trick you into thinking that because you go to a health food store. No, they sell organic meat in health food stores, and people debate a debatable subject about what's better, eating real chicken or eating chicken made with textured vegetable protein. I like textured vegetable protein chicken. The real chicken tastes like chicken. Real turkey tastes like turkey. And the other stuff, it tastes good. And sometimes it comes close. But anyway, so what I wanted to talk about was whether or not my brother is pure narcissistically person. Because he's a vegetarian, but I know that no matter what I do, I can't win. So let's make the subject into one thing, because one thing, a subject with a narcissist is just one subject, but a person who is a narcissist is very shallow, and their mind is warped. So basically, what happens is, unless you nip it in the bud, how do you nip it in the bud? By telling yourself, I'm not going to take this crap anymore. So anyway, oh, thanks for watching. I didn't know somebody's watching. I'm talking about something that happened that bothers me. And remember to always get things out of your system that bother you. Is that my last video was not live, was pigeonholed. That, I transport motorcycles, and I have other tow guys that I work with. Obviously I can't tow every bike when the phone rings. I have to have other guys that work in the same field to help me with that stuff. And so I was on the phone with one of the guys who has a good truck, and he's a good tow guy. And I'm just on the phone, minding my own 2 cents, as you might say, telling him how I usually speak. The way I speak is I don't add things. It's one thing that people that have narcissistic traits, they always have other things like borderline disorder and ADHD. It's like a conjunction of different mental illnesses trapped, like an alien trapped inside their mind. And so the thing is, I'm on the phone minding my own business, and even though I don't think my brother has any kind of ill intent towards any race, a person who's a narcissist always tries to, it's not the word reflect, but sort of make you into the bad components, to take the weight off of their shoulders and make them, this is what is called making themselves into an angel. That's one of the major components of narcissistic people, is that they say things completely on purpose that make absolutely no sense, so they can control you, and they tell other people how great they are by telling stories. And it sounds like when they speak, they're like a 5-year-old. So if you keep that in mind, I'm on the phone with some guy, like I told you, the tow guy, and I don't add things to a story, which is ADHD, and I say, this is what the components are of the tow. He didn't want to give me an address. He didn't want to tell me this, or he gave me the bike model. He didn't want. Either he did or he didn't. Those are the components. He gave me the address, or he didn't. If someone doesn't give an address, I can't price it. If somebody says, I live in Manhattan, I can't get a mental image of where, and the traffic congestion. If somebody doesn't want to give the drop-off location, or they say they're being picked up in Far Rockaway, that's not an address. I don't know. Far Rockaway is divided into Long Island and Queens and Brooklyn. So I don't know where they are. It takes longer to get to the parts in Long Island, and there's a toll. You can't just say Far Rockaway. Some people say I'm being dropped off in Queens at Rego Park. Well, there's certain places in Rego Park that it's hard to pull over because of the bike lanes, and I don't want to drop a bike off at the Queens Mall if there's no place to pull over to unload it. It is a big deal. And so a hard customer is the type of customer that doesn't answer questions, and you ask them repeatedly, and then whatever. So, okay, so the story is, I am on the phone talking to a person who is not white. Okay, so I'm white. We'll leave it at that. So my brother tries to make me into the bad person, And remember, he sounds like Boo Boo. So, so then I'm on the phone, and my brother's always telling me to shut the fuck up, shut up, shut up. He wears earplugs. So you would think he's a quiet person, but he's not, which is a narcissistic trait. That they're telling you to shut up, but they themselves go on and on and on and on and on and on and on like a giddy person. That's narcissistic, that they're telling you to do something that they allow themselves to do. But don't forget, I went to school for psychology, and I've studied psychology a lot. So I'm trying to say this in a working environment sort of way, that I'm not trying to teach or break it down into all the psychological terms. But yes, this is gaslighting. Okay, so I'm on the phone and I feel like my whole back is stiff. What a narcissistic person does is they steal your attention. What my brother constantly does, he has borderline disorder, so he keeps putting his hands on my side of where I'm sitting in his car, and he keeps saying, look over there, to steal my attention of where my attention is, to brainwash me into forgetting what I'm thinking, so that I become a nobody. That's what borderline disorder is, that you lose your personality, or in this case, narcissistically, someone else tries to make you lose your personality by obstructing your mind, by giving you their sickness of borderline disorder and adding things into your mind. With martial arts, you don't add things in, you remove things. So like if you're throwing a punch in martial arts, it's not about being aggressive, it's about being proper. And so the 3-inch punch is the breath control and positioning of your body, dropping your shoulder, dropping your stance, and creating a short distance thrust from not a regular punch. So anyway, it's the same as the psychology of understanding narcissistic stuff. So anyway, okay, so now I'll tell you, I'm on the phone, and my brother, I keep saying, oh, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, uh-oh, uh-oh, mocking me. And then he keeps saying, he's almost here, he's almost here, don't say it, don't say it. I'm like thinking, if I turn around and tell him to shut up, I'm going to forget what I'm saying to the person on the phone. So what he's doing is, he's totally destroying my train of thought. That's the narcissistic part, you see? People ask books, people ask teachers, people ask doctors, what is narcissistic? What does it mean when somebody's narcissistic? That's what narcissistic does. So I'm just on the phone with somebody talking about motorcycle towing. For some reason, I don't know if he doesn't want me to have any friends, or he wants to destroy every relationship I have. But the reason I'm making this video is because a narcissistic person also doesn't want you to tell anyone how they're destroying your mind. And it only helps other people for me to tell you what someone does to me. So somebody might look at me and say, why do I act the way I act? It's who I am, but at the same time, you would find it hard to believe that there's someone trying to destroy my mind. You would find that hard to believe, right? That you think somebody like me must be hardcore, and then it would be hard for someone else. When somebody thinks they're close to you, or somebody's related to you, they seem to have the upper hand. So anyway, I wasn't paying any attention, trying not to, but he just kept driving it into me. So I'm on the phone for like 10 minutes talking to someone, I was standing up. And my brother's on the sidewalk saying, watch out, he's coming, watch out. What am I watching out for, okay? Let's break it down into small little synapse sentences. He's saying, watch out. And right away, that's stupid. he's coming. Like, that's part of borderline disorder, personality disorder. He's coming, yeah. So he has his own little world. He's walking down the street. He happened to, I saw in the corner of my eye after he walked by, he was with his girlfriend. And this made absolutely no rational sense. That's another thing about narcissistic hate. They don't make any sense. He's just trying to get me to turn around so that when I turn around, I lose my train of thought and I forget what I'm saying. I'm on the phone with a tow guy who has very little time because he's in the middle of doing something, and I'm trying to concentrate, and my brother has absolutely no respect for me, that I'm trying to be brief with some other human being and not waste their time, and my brother is just provoking me and poking me and poking me and poking me, and then he's trying to make me look like I'm prejudiced. That's one of the things that narcissistic people do. They try to make themselves look nice and shiny and everything like that, like they're a good person, when it's just something on the stage, like a play, like it's a play that they're lying to everyone. It's like not a playwright. It's not written ahead of time. It's just something they make up as their sickness. It makes them happy, even though narcissistic people aren't happy like a normal person. They can't get deep. It's provoking. It's just like, you see how I'm not like going into it, because I'm not trying to slam anyone and have a rant. A rant is negative. I'm just saying that I'm just on the phone. I'm saying addresses, and then there's this whole negative fight scheme taking place in someone else's mind, and they're making me into one of the negative people that are the actors in their sickness of their mind, and I'm just one of the they have characters in the story, and they're making me into a negative character. So the question is, this is what the original video was about, is what is a narcissistic person? A narcissistic person is someone that destroys your position in the world by controlling how other people are supposed to hate you. And another example is, I went into like a rehab center to visit my mother, and there's this Asian woman nurse who, everyone tries to get along with people, and when you go visit someone in a hospital, that's normal. I worked in a hospital for 6 months, so this is ridiculous to me that my brother slammed me there too. And so the nurse, I forgot what, but I was doing something on my phone, and I was showing her, and she was standing like right next to me, because she was finally trusting me and getting along with me. And she was like, and you know how a narcissistic person destroys that? With the mere simplest of stupidity moves. He talks to you like you're a dog, and he says, come on, and he calls you your name, but he doesn't actually call you your name. Like if your name is Sam, a narcissistic person will speak to you like with so much hatred that you won't even notice it, because you're good at it. So he'll say, come on, Sammy. And so my brother will go, come on, Andre. My name isn't Andre, it's Andrew. It was Andre a long time ago as a middle name, but I had it legally changed to Andrew about 40 years, I don't know, in 1989. How many years is that? So it's 37 years ago, it was legally changed to Andrew. So he says, Andre, and I didn't even use the word Andre then. I was using the word Andrew. My name was Andrew for the last 40 years. So, cool, great. That's one of the ways they put you down. So I was talking to this Asian girl, and also on top of it, what you don't know what they do is, or what she doesn't know. So one, she wasn't bad looking. Two, she was married. I wasn't trying to date her. Three, she's wearing a mask in the hospital. Four, He's telling me nonsense. He's telling me garbage. He's telling me lies. You know what he's saying to me? You know what he's saying to me? He's saying, oh, don't forget, my brother sounds like Boo Boo from Yogi Bear. He's saying, oh, she's real ugly underneath of her mask. You see how they speak about other people? They try to make you hate other people, and they try to make other people hate you. But they try to make everybody love them, and they talk about themselves in such a fabulous light. Okay? So, in case you were having a hard time by reading books about what a narcissistic person is, oh, they will gaslight you. Yeah, they will gaslight you. They'll gaslight you and gaslight you and gaslight you, and it's like their primary goal to gaslight the hell out of you and to make you feel vulnerable and helpless. And how do they do that? Gaslighting is another way of saying lying. Lying to making you believe nonsense and telling you nonsense. And the other big thing about narcissistic hate is one of the biggest things is to steal your attention away from you, which causes you to lose your train of thought, make you vulnerable, and then they fill in your mind for you. And they even send you text messages to make you look over there, to read the stuff that they... Narcissistic people is also another word for being plagiaristic. When you pretend that you wrote something, or that you know something, or that you know how to play music. And narcissistic people miss it. Why? Because it doesn't speak to you. They send you a link that's not theirs, and they expect you to read it as if they're like the people in school who don't do their homework. They'll send you a link, and they think that you think, oh, this link is very complicated. This person must be brilliant. They must be a doctor or on some kind of a higher level. I mean, I went to college, so no, that's not what we think. We think that you're not speaking anything, so why am I going to read the link? It's not. Somebody who went to college is not that complicated for them. It's very simple. Don't send me a link, and if you... I wouldn't say the word explain it, because that's narcissistic. Don't send me a link unless you pertain an introduction. But don't send me a link with little circles on it, like as if you wrote it, or read this, read this. That's narcissistic. It's okay to send someone a link if you say, like, let's say you're a mechanic, and I say, you're telling me you're working on a specific car, right? You're saying you're working on a car. And then I go look up, I find that car, and you're telling me about whatever. And then I find a link to the car that you mentioned you're working on. That's not narcissistic. Narcissistic is when they I don't know, when they create problems out of some simple question that you have, and you're not even asking them. Like you say something uh, like, why do I need to close my windows when it's hot outside? I like having my windows open. And instead of them saying anything because they don't know the answer, they'll start sending you links and circling things. Whether it's right or wrong, because it's not their topic, they're not actually speaking, like with their mouth. They're not saying words. They're just trying to direct your attention to something that they didn't even read. And not to mention, narcissistic is when you waste your time sending someone information, right? You sending someone information, and they just delete it, and make you into someone who's talking to yourself. So the question is, for me, why do doctors of the subject who study, who are therapists, different types of psychologists, psychotherapists, why do they say that narcissistic people are so bad when 80% of the world is narcissistic? Well, because it's true. It's like, be aware, they love money, and some narcissistic people have a temporary good side, and they care about themselves. So what do you need to watch out for with narcissistic people? I don't know. Whatever it is that would bother you the most. Let's say that you're a musician. The only way you can get away with getting along with them is understanding that a narcissistic person has the mind frame of a 5-year-old, but they'll try to switch it around and treat you like a 5-year-old. But when you pay attention to the whole thing, you'll find that they're the ones that have a concentration problem, and they're trying to make you have a concentration problem. They're trying to make you forget what you're saying. They have no interest in anything that you're saying, so it's easy for them to cut you off. And a narcissistic person can't really have a relationship because they don't have a relationship with themselves. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person, you'll find that you're not growing at all, and you'll find yourself being put down all the time, even when you're not with them, because they'll put you down in every way, shape, or form, and you won't be able to. The only time you can feel yourself growing as a person is when you're not with them. If you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person, you already know that the only time you feel yourself growing as a person is when you're not with them. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that, and that's it. Okay, so why am I saying this stuff? Because it bothers me, and I hate it when a narcissistic person does this to me, and it just keeps it bottled inside. It just eats me up inside, and there's going to be more videos of all these things, because so many things are happening to me, and I'm sick of just writing down the general parts in a text message to myself of how I was abused. And then when I talk to you can't tell a narcissistic person what they did to you, because they're doing it on purpose, and they're going to say something really stupid. If you tell a narcissistic person anything that makes sense, they're going to say something stupid. If a narcissistic person steps on your brand new shoes on purpose, and you tell them, "Oh, it really hurts me that you stepped on my brand new shoes," what are they going to say to you? Are those shoes new? They're going to switch the subject. Are those new shoes? And then they're asking you questions, so you have to explain yourself. Then you know this is narcissistic. Are those shoes brand new? And then if you answer them, you're a fool. Oh yes, now you forgot what you were talking about. That's the trick. Are those shoes new? Oh, I forgot that I was complaining. Oh, now this subject is different because I'm speaking to a narcissist. Are those new shoes? Yes. Oh, those are nice. Yeah, but you stepped on them. Get the fuck out of here. I didn't step on your shoes. And then they'll start yelling at you. You know, it's part of it. Were you telling me I stepped on your toes? See, they put hatred into you rather than making you cringe and back off because you're taking control. Narcissistic people want to be powerful. You telling me I stepped on your fucking shoes? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my car. That's what happens when you try to get a narcissistic person to be nice to you. You get yelled at. So now you see, to get along with a narcissistic person, there's no getting along with them. The only way you can get along with a narcissistic person is to understand that you don't exist. That's it. You don't exist. Okay? I'm leaving this point.